Hello, Accelerated Math kids. Let's talk about graphing a line and finding the equation of a line. Okay, given this information here, just like you did on these problems from your tables, graphs, and rules packet that I put on your Google Classroom, let's take a look at one just to start that conversation and so we understand. So here's what we have as an input and an output. We have to remember that a line is in this form. There will be a coefficient in front of an x and another number that you could add, and it can be any number. So as we look at this, let's take a look at 10 for my input and 14 for my output. That means that I could have something like x and y. I like to do a chart this way. We call that a t-chart. So if I have 10 going in and 14 coming out, that means there's some kind of a difference, some kind of relationship here. Well, I could say the y is equal to putting number in for x and then add 4. If that's the case, then, and the reason I chose that is because if I chose x to be 10 and I chose y to be 4, that should equal 14. Let's also take a look then at x as 5. So I take this x and I put that in 5 for the x, and I'm going to put this number, use that number again that I chose because that was their difference to start with. And does that equal 9? Ooh, it does. Now let's try this last point, -7, just to be sure. Does that equal -3? Well, if I put -7 here and I add 4, that equals -3. Ah, that works. So now I see that my equation is y equals x plus 4. So if y equals x plus 4, can you tell me the value here if it's 20? Yeah, put that in. 20 plus 4 is 24. How do I get a -4? Well, let's see. To make that a -4, I'd have to do some solving. Y, let's see. If that would be -4 for my y equals x plus 4. Well, if I subtract 4 from each side, I can see that my x equals -8. Okay, so -8. Does that work? Put it in the original equation. Does -8 plus 4 equal -4? It does. The last one, 3. If I add 4 to that, that should be 7. And I can check that out as well. Now to graph this, of course, we just plot our points. 5 in the x direction, 9 in the y direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's 5. And I go up 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9. There it is. Okay, there's my point. What about 20, 24? Oh, that's way out here and way up there. Not sure I'm going to be able to graph that given the information I have. Plus, going out 10 and up 14, that'll take me clear up at the top of that, right up here somewhere. 10, let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So here's my 10. And I go up 14. Well, I know that's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There's my point. Does that look like a nice straight line? It could. Also, I can put in -7 and -3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's -7. That means this is -5. And I go -3. 1, 2, 3. Right there. So if I look at this line here, is that a nice straight line? I think it's going to be. Now here's the one way you can tell, is if I let x equal 0. Okay, if I put 0 in for the x, I'll put that down here. That makes this y equals 0 plus 4. So that means I'm going to go up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, you may not have seen this in your notes that you read, hopefully, but this is what we call the y-intercept. This At this point, positive or negative, this is where the line crosses the y-intercept, the y-axis, excuse me, not the y-intercept. Okay? But when you look at that, that's going to be a nice straight line. There you go. That's the first question.